Boom, we are live. So let's check it out. Let's just make sure we got the audio. I'm testing my audio. Will, just test your audio. Make sure we got some
What's up, people?
audio flow in there. All right, cool. He said something. Now let's wait for the chat to respond. See if we got people listening to us. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I said I would start this chat at 11, but we had just a few slight technical difficulties.
It's like we were new at this, Steve. It's like we're new at technology.
It's like I've never made a video in my life. Well, honestly, live stream is kind of a new thing to me. I don't really know live stream too well. This is only my third time doing this.
Yeah.
The first time was like a complete failure in terms of the quality. I did it with Tal, the traveling clat.
Yeah.
And dude, I tried using like an external, like a third-party software to stream the video through, and that just made it so laggy and it was terrible quality. But with the YouTube, I think we're about like 30 seconds delayed, so I'm waiting for people to respond back. Let's check it out. We got some people in here, but I'm waiting to make sure that they can hear us before we continue. Cool. All right, we got some people joining the chat. Yep. All right, got confirmation that they can hear us. So
and they can see
everyone watching right now, welcome to Creators in Quarantine. This is the third episode, and I have a very special guest by the name of Will Edmond.
What up, people?
I just want to introduce Will first, but Will, this goes for you and everyone watching right now. I want to try to keep this just conversational, not necessarily an interview. I definitely want to learn a lot about you, Will, but I want to just have it free-flowing conversation. I have some topics that I jotted down that we can talk about, but I figured we'd just talk and let the conversation flow, and we'll talk for about an hour. So if anyone's out there watching, hello. Feel free to drop some comments in the live chat. We'll try to answer any questions that we do see pop up. And of course, we'll prioritize those super chats if anyone's feeling generous out there.
What's up, Mike Down? My homie Mike Downey's on here.
I was actually going to ask some questions about your trips with Mike.
Man, listen, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be great. I know Mike was gonna ask some questions in the comments, but I'm here.
For sure. Amazing. Glad to see we got John Edward Jones, we got Jedge up in here, we got Mike from Downey Live. Who else we got? We got Jet Set Jess. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well today.
As more people join while we're doing this as well.
So I'll also keep this video live on my profile after this is done, so people can go back and watch it. So just to start off, Will, could you give us a little introduction to yourself, what you do, and where you came from?
Let's do it. All right. So my name is Will Edmond. I live here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in Atlanta for the last 10 years. When I first moved to Atlanta, I was working in education. And after education, I started doing my own thing. I was working with some music festivals. So I'm really into music. If people not follow me on like my Instagram and stuff, I really love music, and being able to do YouTube videos, I can actually put good music in my video. So that kind of like transitioned to me into video. So I've been doing YouTube for 2.5 years. My YouTube journey started off by me basically, putting out a little video, and then I stopped. And I started back. The reason why I started back doing YouTube was putting out more content. Is like I actually got hit up for a possible TV show, and they actually didn't buy any episodes. And I was like, man, I can do this whole YouTube and creating my own content myself. So I was like, let me invest in myself and go out there and get it. But to back up some, where I come from, I'm from East Texas. I used to live in a small city by the name of Douglasville, Texas. All my family's lived there forever. No one has ever moved, and I made it out. So it's a small town of like 200 people, man. I grew up on a farm, like raising animals and things like that. And now I am here in Atlanta, and I've traveled all around the world making content that inspires people. If you watch any of my videos are all about good vibes. I love connecting with people. I love meeting people of all walks of life. I think that's what's so amazing about traveling. And I know you and Tal and Mike can attest to this as well. It's being able to meet all the people from all walks of life and maybe having them in your video, connecting and learning things from them. So that's my journey. That's where I'm from. And I'm here now.
Cool, man. Thanks for sharing all that.
What's up?
Definitely some interesting things I want to touch on that you just said.
Gotcha.
But first of all, I definitely agree with you saying your videos are full of good vibes. You know, every time I see anything you post, your huge smile, it's funny. I'll be using like my phone or on my laptop or something, and I find myself smiling from ear to ear just watching you because you just have such good vibes that radiate out of your videos. It's yeah, your smile is definitely contagious. It's just
Appreciate
fun.
it.
Like it's just good vibes. And that's I try to keep my videos like that too. So I
Your
feel like you
videos
have
like it too, Steve. Because I actually, Steve, you know it's crazy. I actually found your videos because I was into. Well, I've been to Bogota before, and I was looking at more Colombia videos, and
hey,
I saw your video where you were walking the street in the streets of Colombia. It was some cool camera tricks and stuff you were doing. I was like, man, this dude is dope. So I started following you first on YouTube, and then I found Tao. So yeah, man, you got
cool.
good energy as well. So I can't wait till we all do this video and stuff together.
I know I wanna link up at some point. I mean, we were actually talking about trying to do something now,
Hmm.
as we were talking about a few months ago, but obviously with the whole crazy lockdown situation all over the world, it's
Hmm.
forcing us to stay still for a little bit.
Yeah.
But and talking about that, obviously, you know, we call this creators in quarantine. How are you dealing with quarantine? Has this changed anything you've been doing? What have you been doing to adapt to
Um,
this?
Well, I am not a person that really frequents a lot of restaurants and stuff because I cook a lot of my own food. So I
I've
was
noticed
never
that.
a
I
person that
saw
would
some videos.
exactly. I was never a person that like, oh, let's go out to eat, let's go buy some food, hang out. I'm always outdoors, like walking, hiking, exploring, working out. So it hasn't changed that much. The only thing it has changed, I miss giving my friends hugs. I haven't seen like my
Yeah,
closest friends, bro. Like,
I feel that.
I've only seen two of my good friends in the last month, and that's when like we go work out or go up the mountain. But other than that, all my other friends are staying at home. One of my friends hasn't been out the house in one whole entire month. He
Wow.
is on a whole different level.
That's dedication right there. That's
Yeah,
proper
I'm not
quarantine.
going outside. So I'm like, I'm not that extreme, but I have been doing a lot of working out outside. I started gardening. I'm into planting food. Growing up in East Texas, I took those skills and brought them here, but growing a lot of stuff in my patio in the backyard, like tomatoes and peppers and things like that. But yeah, just getting outside, enjoying the natural light and the energy that's around us, and every day I wake up, if I'm breathing, I'm like, I get to do this again. So
That's nice to
that's how
hear.
I wake
That's
up, bro.
nice to
I
hear.
wake up dancing.
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it. I so you mentioned music festivals. That's something that kind of got you into making videos?
Well, with the music sense, like being around entertainment, arts, and
Okay.
stuff like that, I was like, man, I want to still do entertainment, but I don't want to do music anymore, man. I produce so many music festivals, music concerts, and I just kind of got burnt out because
So
it took
you
a
were
lot of
producing
work
them.
on a lot
You
of
were
energy.
putting
Payoff wasn't too big monetarily.
yeah.
So I it's like, let's do something else. And I started my blog, willedmond.com, Adventures of Will. And one of my posts went viral. And that's how I started, build up an audience on Instagram and things like that. And at first I was nervous to do video because I was like, what would people think about me?
Yeah.
And then I got over that really quick, started putting out content, and I just say, hey, I'm just gonna share the world with people. What I like to do, people that I like to interact with, and people seem like they enjoy it.
That's amazing, man. I'm just taking a look at some of these comments here, making sure if we got anyone
Somebody
asking
said,
some
shout out to the
questions.
Philippines. Hey, Philippines.
Ooh, someone's really, really shouting out the Philippines. I don't know if
Okay.
you got that, but they commented like 15 times.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out. Hi, Steve. Please shout out fan from the Philippines. Hey, King Brax Visual.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to you.
I see some friends from Atlanta as well. Shout out to Martin
Hey,
Charles and
love
Jerry
from
from
Sri.
Ireland.
Yeah, we got Sri Lanka up in here.
Hey, we got the whole world. We got the whole
Wow.
world in our chat.
Cool. So there was a few things I noticed. Wait, so in terms of travel, obviously you like to travel.
Mhm.
Where has been some of your favorite places, or maybe when did you started traveling? Actually, when was
Started traveling 5 years ago. So I wasn't making any videos 5 years ago because I had a lot of travels. Like when I went to New Zealand and stuff, I don't have any of those videos.
yeah,
Um, so I started traveling about 5.5 years ago.
And
And
what ins-
my favorite place, to my top favorite, I'm gonna put three.
okay.
Yeah, but three. I don't know. Some of my favorite places to travel. New Zealand was amazing. The weather was there, was nice there. I went in the summertime. My ticket was only like $250 round trip. I got a good deal
And
on that.
how
And
long were you there for?
I was there for 2 weeks. I
And
was
what did you do? And what were some activities that you
Man,
that
I
you
ate a lot of pizza from Domino's. People may not, but New Zealand is a test market for Domino's pizza. So a lot of the creations before they come out, years before they get around the states and the country, they use New Zealand as a test market.
Really?
So I had some banging pizza, bro. Some pieces that it was like
Some
a
exclusive
dressing, like a
pizza?
Thanksgiving pizza with like cranberry sauce and everything on it. It was delicious, bro. So I ate a lot of
Wow.
Domino's pizza. And I did a lot of outdoor activities. I did a lot of hiking. There's a lot of places in the south of Auckland to hike. The landscape in Auckland is very hilly. It's green. So, and also I went to a TLC concert. TLC is one of my favorite 90s groups. And one of my friends actually plays for TLC. And it was just random that we're in New Zealand at the same time.
Wow.
And that was TLC's first time in New Zealand. He's like, man, you want to come to the concert? So I got to hang out with TLC backstage, and that was just incredible. So New Zealand is one of my top places. The second one would be, it's a tie between Mexico and Costa Rica. I
Mm.
love Latin American culture. I loved like tacos, any type of Spanish food. The language is, I just love it. The vibes in Mexico are amazing. There's a lot of people don't understand that Mexico has so many like hidden gems that Americans or people around the world don't even know about. Like I went to the Grutas de Teletongo last year. It's a natural river that's blue year round. It's heated by volcanic water. Well, the volcano, the heat from the volcano actually heats the water up. But it's so nice, and it's like 2 hours from Mexico City. And there's a lot of other places in Mexico that are like that. And then Costa Rica is my third favorite place to visit.
Okay.
One of my friends owns a farm in Costa Rica, so I usually go there and hang out with him. And a lot of my Costa Rica videos are on my YouTube channel as well, if anyone want to watch those. So those
I
are
want
my
to plug
top
it.
three places. I've been other places. I've been to Madrid and places like that, but I just love Latin America. I love Latin America and South America. And I think you do as well, Steve.
I'm dying to get to travel around Mexico and Costa Rica. Actually, those two countries, it's funny that you mentioned that's where your travel experience and your favorite, some of your favorite places are, because that's where I'm really considering going to when things clear up.
Well, going to Costa Rica?
Yeah, Costa Rica. I would love to travel from Mexico, just go down. As you know, I went to Colombia and
Yeah.
I never left Colombia. I was planning on
You there
traveling
for a long time, bro.
Yeah, man. My original plan, my original intention was to stay for 2 weeks, and I ended up, and so my original plan was to stay in Colombia for a couple weeks and then travel to other countries around South America.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up staying in Colombia for nearly 4 months, and I never left. But when I left, I went back to the States, so I never got to travel around South America more. And then I went back to Colombia a few times for different reasons, but I've never been anywhere else in South America or Central America.
Yeah, the coast of not Costa Rica, but the coast of Colombia, because that's where I found a lot of stuff from your video, watching your videos. Because you were in Medellin, right, or Cartagena?
All of them. I went everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I only went to Bogota, so next time I would love to go and join you up there whenever you go back.
Yeah, man, that would be great.
If we can go to Costa Rica, I could show you some amazing places.
That'd be cool.
You're gonna fall in love with Costa Rica, man.
I mean, everyone I talk to who's been there says the same thing. Like, it just seems incredible. And obviously, I love nature and hiking and being outdoors, and it just seems like a paradise for that. So
I think you're going to really love about Costa Rica, and a lot of people may not know this, that Costa Rica has microclimates. So my friend lives on the top of a mountain very high up, and you can go within 45 minutes to an hour, and you can pass through 4 or 5 different type of climate conditions. So it can be like really extremely raining, like tropical. Then it gets a little cooler. Then it gets dry, cool, hot. It's all like, then you go down to the beach and it's like just humid, hot. So within 45 minutes, you can drive through a lot of different climates. That's one cool thing about Costa Rica as well.
That's crazy, man. I'm dying to talking about travel. Now it's like,
no, when we talk about like, one day we'll be able to get back there.
We got a question from Lauren, longtime viewer of this channel, actually someone who's from very close to where I grew up. She asked, where are the next places in Latin America do y'all want to visit? I think we're kind of touching upon that right there. In Latin America, I would love, like I said, I would love to travel through Central America, starting in like Southern California or Mexico, and then just travel slowly south and, you know, go.
How about this idea? I haven't told anybody yet. So behind my house, my
exclusive idea.
See, nobody knows this. So I have a whole entire bus back here that's decked out, and we're looking for maybe 1 or 2 other creators to drive from the States all the way to Mexico on the bus.
Hello.
I don't know. Maybe you be down. Maybe Mike will be down.
Dude, when are you thinking of doing that? When's that idea? When are you thinking of doing that?
Whenever everything opens back up, I guess. My best friend, my fraternity brother owns it, and he's a creator as well. But he's not a YouTuber, he's a musician. So basically decked out this whole entire bus, and he lives on my land back here, and basically travels around the country in it, but he wants to go and do some international travel in it. So he wants to go to Mexico and hit like Costa Rica and other countries. And it'd be cool to have another YouTuber, or 2 YouTubers with me. That'd be dope.
Is it like a full, like a school bus?
It's a whole entire school bus, like a big long school bus.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. I've seen some people travel in school buses before. That's sick, man. Keep me posted. That's a serious thing.
Yeah, because you're closer to me than any other person that I know, YouTuber. That does the same type of YouTube. You're in North Florida, so we're 4 hours away.
That is ideal. I really want to travel with other creators as well. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's making YouTube videos, but I love just having that connection of that similar interest. And like when I traveled with Tal throughout Europe and throughout Sri Lanka, like we really connected so well, and we motivated each other to do way more as well, in terms of like just working harder and having fun, like getting creative and just having fun. That's really what it came down to.
Because you feed off the positivity. No matter if that person is a YouTuber, that person has a certain grind that we all need in order to keep going, Because the last couple of weeks, I may put out 1 or 2 videos, but I haven't put out as much because I've been taking the time to just refresh, to be like, this is the time to relax. Because as a creator, you always have to think of video ideas or editing or going out to travel to get the content. And right now, it's like, well, since the states and the government's closed down, I'm gonna close down. I'm gonna take a break. So I've just been cooking and eating, and when you say let's do this, I'm like, hey, this is another opportunity to join in, with home. Well, yeah, it's good to relax. But when you're around another creator, it gives you that gasoline, that fuel you need to be like, I can do this. Let's go.
I agree, man. And having just bouncing those creative ideas off someone, because when I travel, a lot of the times I meet other people who are traveling, but they're not necessarily the same mindset that I am, because I'm traveling to enjoy all these travel experiences, but for me this is work. So it's a different mindset, because a lot of people who I meet while I'm traveling, they are in an escape from their reality, because they know they're going back to something where sometimes they don't even want to go back. But when they're traveling, it's more like they're on vacation, so their mindset is, let's go party, let's go drink, things don't matter, whatever, let's stay up late, let's do whatever. But me, I'm like, well, this is my life, so if I treat my life as a vacation, it'll just go to mess, and I can't have that. So I have to be somewhat regimented and structured to have some time to make for work and some time to exercise and stay healthy. And that's kind of when I've been traveling with other people who are involved in creating whatever that may be, or having some type of work to do, so you can actually make time to sit down and do some work. That's where I find that I connect the best.
That's what's up, man. Yeah.
Dude, I saw you were involved with something with YouTube called Next Up.
Yeah, YouTube Next Up.
What was that? That seemed like a really interesting opportunity. What was that about?
Amazing. So YouTube has this competition. They have like 3 or 4 throughout the year, and it's called a YouTube Next Up Creator Academy. So basically, you have to have between 10,000 to 100,000 subscribers in order to qualify. And YouTube actually does not choose the people. It's actually another company, because YouTube doesn't want to have any influence or picking the people. It's another company that they've hired that they go by the criteria that YouTube was looking for. People who are constantly putting out content, creators who eventually could be that 1 million subscriber creator. They look for those types of things. And the day before the deadline, I saw it in the Creator Studio. If you're a YouTuber, you can look in Creator Studio. There's a lot of options to apply for things. So I saw it in the Creator Studio. I was like, oh, wow, this sounds like something that I should do, you know? And I applied, and like 2 months later, I got an email that says, congratulations, you've been selected as the next up. You and 12 other people are going to be whisked off to LA. Everything, expenses is paid for by YouTube. And I was like, wow, this is really real. So they paid for flights, hotel, food, gas, Ubers. I mean, they took care of everything. And it was some other creators from all around the country. And we were able to go through courses, but classes each day, where we were learn about editing, how to tell a better story, just different camera tricks. We also got into a group where we produced a project together. But I mean, I've been, involved in a lot of other programs with influencers. And I feel like the people that YouTube select was some of the best group of influencers, because nobody was worried about how many followers or anything like that. It was all about everybody coming together to learn and to help each other. And I really was thankful of that. But YouTube, man, if you ever get to attend a YouTube event, bro, they treat you like a celebrity. Like everything is laid out. And it's crazy, after I went to the Next Up, and YouTube had another event here in Atlanta where one of my friends, who's a big YouTuber, he was hosting it, and I was able to go, and everything was so nice and laid out, and they were just genuinely excited for the creators. And one thing I love about meeting I've met majority of everybody in the corporate, the head honchos of YouTube. Everybody who is involved in YouTube, they want their creators to succeed, because just think of it like a TV network. You know, if you have a TV station that has these huge actors that are being paid millions of dollars, that network want to put those actors up and make sure they look good and they're always treated well. Well, the YouTube family, the CEO and the people who are below her, man, they treated us so well. They wanted us to say, hey, we believe in y'all, keep going. Here's everything that you need. So this was a great experience. I was able to meet a lot of people as well.
Yeah, it looked like a great experience. I mean, just when they announced it too, I remember like they posted you on the YouTube, like Instagram or something.
Yeah, they posted on YouTube, yeah. And then they started following me on YouTube. And they started following, like, oh wow, this is interesting.
That just looked like as you explained, like such a good experience to connect with other creators. And I'm sure it was super motivating, like being brought out there and getting involved and just being able to meet other people and being at the YouTube
studio
headquarters. Like crazy, man. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was nice. It was dope.
Big congrats on that. Let's take a look at some of these comments again. I don't mean to be ignoring you guys at home. I'm sorry. We're just getting so deep in these combos. Oh, we got Kinging It up in here. Kinging It is one of my favorite YouTube channels. If you guys out there haven't heard of Kinging It, I would highly suggest looking into there. They're a travel couple.
Really?
Hilarious.
King Brax?
What's that?
Who's the king?
Kinging? Like Kinging? Kinging
oh no, that's who is a travel couple?
Kinging It.
Oh, Kinging It. Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard of them?
Never heard of them before.
You should check it out. They just said they never heard of you either. So boom, now you guys heard of each other.
No, what's up?
They're awesome. They're so funny. They've actually been sharing
a lot of comments over here. A lot of love.
Yeah.
Tal is in the building.
Oh, we got the traveling clat up in here.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I just came from Jamaica. I learned some little stuff from Jamaica. So
I saw you have videos from Jamaica, man. I've actually been really interested in going there myself. What?
Yeah, Jamaica was lit, bro.
Yeah? Lit. What'd you get into in Jamaica?
Yeah, Jamaica was great. I went to an area called Port Antonio, so it was off the beaten path. One of my friends from Atlanta, she hosts a dinner every year in Jamaica. So she has people that fly around the country that go to her dinner. And the area that she had it in was very like a countryside. So it wasn't heavily touristy. and it was really chill. So if you do go to Jamaica, go to that side, you know, get out of Kingston or the tourist side, go to like Port Antonio, Portland, because it's like a jungle over there, man. Everything's green, lush, fresh fruit. So I think you would enjoy that.
Definitely get them island vibes, man. I would love that. I've been seeing a lot of videos.
I'm trying to live the island life. That's why I want YouTube to, you know, to continue to grow, because my ultimate goal, people ask me this all the time, what is your goal with YouTube? My goal with YouTube is not to be famous, a famous YouTuber. I want to be able to build a community of people. I would like to have like tiny houses in Costa Rica or Mexico, like a little smaller community of people that can, you know, stay at like an Airbnb situation, something that I built, you know. And I want to be able to interact with my fans and people who support me, you know. Like if you ever see me on the street, like people can talk to me. I'm not that, oh, don't talk to me type of person. I want to give you a hug, you know what I mean?
Yeah, me too, man.
So
I'm the
I'm
same
starting
way.
YouTube to build a community, because it's bigger than this. It's bigger than me. I want to be able to help people and travel together and stuff like that.
I love that, man. Yeah, I feel the most rewarding feeling for me is when someone, you know, every once in a while people reach out to me and just share how I've either inspired them to go travel or help them in some way, and that is like the most rewarding feeling for me. Like I don't care how many views my videos get. It doesn't matter. It's about like the connection with people. Like when I actually am able to connect with someone like you and have this conversation, like this is why I do it, because it's the feeling of community. You know, it's that feeling of you have people, and regardless of where you are in the world, we can connect. And I love it, man. It's so
I love
cool.
it too, bro. It's amazing. Technology is great.
King, you got a question. Would you guys ever consider coming across the pond to the UK or even Europe? Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I would love to go. My friend Mike invited me to Europe or UK a couple of weeks ago. That's if you go to check out Downey's live. He's you know Mike,
Yeah.
but who don't know Mike, he does. He's been doing a lot of train travel videos lately, and they've been blowing up. And he invited me to Europe. I couldn't go at that time because I was going to Jamaica. I was like, I want to be at both places. I need a clone. But I would love to get to the UK, and it'd be dope if we all four of us could go at the same time. That'd be super, super nice. Let's go.
You know, I was thinking, since pretty much all travel creators are on pause right now, when things start moving again and we get some clearance to travel, everyone doesn't have any plans. So this is a great opportunity to start communicating with other creators and say, you know, let's plan something together, because as of right now, most people's plans are just completely canceled. So hey, anyone out there that wants to do something together, king it. If you want to do something in Europe, hell yeah. I actually haven't been anywhere in the UK. I traveled a little bit this past summer with the Traveling Clat, and we went through Spain and Portugal and then to Eastern Europe and around the Balkan region, which was incredible. But I've never been to the UK, so I'm trying to get out there.
I went to Madrid. I've been to Spain, and that can go into our next question, because I just saw somebody ask about the scariest travel story from both of you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cello's a homie.
Like when I was in Spain, I got pickpocketed. I got robbed in Spain, but not no gun held up or anything. So I was at a market downtown, and I had just bought some rice and vegetables, and I have a fanny pack that I usually snap on me or whatever. I had just pulled my debit card out and swiped it and paid for my food. And 5 seconds later, I was about to put it back in. It's gone, bro. Like somebody clipped it from me and just took off. I'm like, wait a minute. But here's the thing, the scary thing is that sometimes when I travel, I stay in hostels a lot. And I usually take all my important stuff, like my passport and everything on me. So I keep it in my fanny pack because it's like snapped into me. It's not going anywhere. And man, everything was in there. And that was the first time I had everything in there. So I had no passport, no driver's license, no debit card, anything. So everything was taken from me. I was kind of like lost. I was like, wow, this is my first time getting robbed. I don't have any identity. I don't have any money. So I went back to the hostel, and it was another American guy who was my like bunk mate or whatever. I told him the story. He's like, man, that's so crazy. Well, here's $100. So he gave me $100. He's like, man, that should cover you for a day or two for some food and stuff like that. And still didn't have any identity. I was basically trying to get to Barcelona, but since I didn't have a debit card or driver's license or any ID, I couldn't travel anywhere. So I was just basically stuck there. And for the first 3 to 4 hours, I was really upset. But after that, I kind of like calmed down. I was like, okay, well, you're still alive. The world has not ended. So just to get creative, so I called my parents, asked them to send me like a copy of birth certificate. Then I called the embassy. They asked me a lot of questions. What happened? I went to the police station. And if you've never been to Madrid or Spain, it's a country that's a high rate of pickpocketing. So if you ever go there, you be safe. Just guard your property and things like that. So the police station was full. There's people in their stations like, hey, I got robbed too. I got robbed sitting at a dinner table. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But that was the scariest thing because I was so uncertain. I wasn't afraid for my life, but it was just scary because I'm like, wow, I don't have anything. Like, my name is Will Edmond, but nobody here would know that if I couldn't show my ID or anything like that. So I just I wasn't able to get around like I wanted to because I didn't have any cash on me or anything like that. So that was a scary moment, being in a foreign country by yourself, not knowing anyone. My Spanish is okay. I know a few words, but it was pretty wild, man.
Damn. Oh, sorry to interrupt. I just noticed Todd just dropped a bomb on us. $25 super chat.
He making it rain. Somebody throw $1, $1.99, $5. My brother.
What did he say? This is the bribe to vlog my favorite Nicaragua during your Central America bus adventure. Boom, Todd, you on it. We're making some vlogs of Nicaragua. $25. That'll probably buy me a plane ticket there right now, to be honest.
Right, that is true.
Like at the point we're living in right now, air travel is at least within like close proximity.
Bruh, from Atlanta to Orlando, I saw a ticket for $19 round trip.
Frontier Airlines, you could pretty much fly anywhere in the United States right now for $20. Mind you, that doesn't include bags, or there's a few other fees hidden in there, but still, if you double that, what, $40 to travel?
Yeah.
I think the bags cost $30, like regardless whether you bring it like carry on or whatever, but still $50. I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
What were you gonna say?
No. I was looking at Tal had a question over here. He asked, Will, I know you're vegan. Do you find it difficult to ever find food you like abroad? Also, what's been the best vegan food you ever had in your travels? It hasn't been too hard to find vegan food abroad. Reason why, because, rice, beans, and potatoes is almost in every country. So, and when I can't find something that's like a vegan restaurant, I just go to the basics. I was like, man, give me a good salad, some rice and beans, and I'm good, My favorite vegan food that I ever had was in Costa Rica.
Ooh.
It's a place called Love Burger. I went there 7 times in 1 week.
Every day or like multiple times a day?
Bro,
like once a day? Or...
One day I went 3 times in 1 day.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean,
it's so good. The burgers are huge. They're like this big. The patty is made out of chickpea, lentil, and mushroom. They make this vegan cashew cheese. They roast coconut strips to turn into like a vegan bacon. They make their own buns, and they use purple potatoes for fries.
Purple potato.
Effing delicious, bro.
That sounds pretty good.
Thanks,
so let me ask you,
like that memory.
Have you ever traveled in the Philippines?
Man, no, I have not. I would love to go to the Philippines.
I think that may be why Tal is asking this question. He's currently in the Philippines. He's been stranded there for a little bit, but I know he's not vegan. Tal eats meat, but in the Philippines, it can be pretty difficult because, I mean, unless you're cooking for yourself like you do, but if you go out to a store, like a local restaurant where they just have like different trays of food, and you kind of just like point at what you want. Sometimes you don't even know what it is. But in the Philippines, I remember I traveled with a friend of mine who was a vegetarian, and it was a challenge, like a big challenge sometimes, to just find food that didn't have meat in it. We would go up to people, we would ask them for vegetarian, for just vegetables, and they would be like, oh, okay. And they would point at a dish that had vegetables in it, but there would be like minced pork. So it's not even something that you could like remove. It's like ingrained with it.
Wow.
And they're like, no meat. And they're like, yeah, it's okay, just a little meat. And we're like, no, it's not okay.
Yeah, so when so a lot of times I do travel with a lot of snacks. So like my Amtrak videos that I did with Mike, and before one of the videos I did going to New Orleans, like I pack a whole bag of snacks because I know that sometimes the vegan food may not be good on the train or where I'm going. So at least I have something to eat. If I'm going on road trips, I will always have snacks because
Yeah,
I know in convenience stores, they're not going to be food. So I'm always prepared, bro.
Tal and I know about that snack life. We
Snack life. I'm a
prepare,
snacky man.
especially we actually took a lot of trains. Getting into the train subject, because I know I want to ask you about a little bit about the Amtrak. But Tal and I this summer we took trains. We had a Eurail pass, so we had unlimited trains for a month around Europe. So we took trains all the way through Spain to Portugal, and then we took trains from Portugal, which is I think one of the most Western countries in the continental Europe. And we were on we were all right there. And then we got to Poland by trains in like 2 days, which was a lot of trains.
Did y'all film any of those videos?
Yeah.
I missed that. Okay, I gotta go back and look at those.
We took a 16-hour train ride from Portugal to Barcelona, so across the whole country of Spain. And that was actually pretty nice. We had a whole room to ourselves. I saw some of your videos where you have like
the little roomette.
Yeah, a little room. You get the bathroom in there. And that's kind of what
train travel was fancy, man. I got spoiled after catching the trains because the space that you get on a train compared to a plane is like, I'm like, oh my gosh. My last trip when I was in LA, that was my last trip I went on before the quarantine. I was like, oh, I'm back on a plane. It's so tight. But on a train, you have the luxury of getting up, walking around, going to the bar, going to the observation car, getting outside to take a stretch whenever you have like they have those stops. So I'm so spoiled now. I wish there was trains. I wish there was trains all across America. That'd be dope.
So is there not? Because you went on Amtrak. I've never been on Amtrak. And talk to me a little bit about this with you and Mike. If anyone's not familiar, maybe fill them in on what you guys do and introduce Mike.
So Mike Downey, who's in the chat right now, Mike actually started doing some train travel videos a couple of months ago. And one of his videos blew up. And, Mike and I had already been vlogging before then. And he's like, man, and we always like to travel together. And he was like, Will, let's do this train trip. It'll be dope. And I think people will love it. Because when we're together, we feed off each other's energy. It's like, we're like brothers, I'm just a little bit darker than Mike, but we're brothers, And people love the energy, man. And we were on an Amtrak train, it's filming everything, like, all the amenities, the perks, and it's giving people the whole entire, feel of train travel. And Mike's second video did well, and then his other video did well. He's like, well, keep doing this, And Mike is just not a train travel guy. He just loves trains just like I do. And I've never ridden a train until my first trip from Atlanta to New Orleans. I took the Crescent City line. I was always a train enthusiast. When I was 5 years old, my mom and dad got me a train set. So I've always loved trains. And I was like, this is the perfect time to ride one. So I took it from Atlanta to New Orleans just for like a 2-day trip. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. The people that were on the train were friendly. When you're riding a train, there's so many train enthusiasts on there. There's people who drive the train all around the country who want to tell you all about their train stories from this city to this city. And I was like, man, this is going to be some good videos because people, usually when you're vlogging, people are like a little nervous of the camera, but the people that I met on the train, they wanted to talk about their train stories. But going back to Amtrak, there's a lot of rails throughout the country. I don't know exactly the number, but the last one that I took, the last train trip that I took was from Chicago to Seattle. Mike and I, that was on the Empire Builder route. That's an amazing route if anyone has never taken that route. I would say do it in the summertime, going from like Seattle to Chicago. Do it backwards, like because we did it from Chicago to Seattle. I would say do it backwards because you want to be able to see like Glacier National Park And whenever we went through it, it was dark at that time. So there's a lot of things you want to see throughout the summer. So I did the Crescent Line. Mike and I want to do the California Zephyr. We want to do, I forgot the other one. Mike, maybe you can comment. There's a couple other ones that we want to do. Also, I want to get back up to Canada. Mike is from Vancouver. We want to do like take some of the Canadian trains. I want to take a train everywhere, Steve. No matter if it's a train in country, I want to jump on it. I want to take it. I love it. I love the fact that you're able to just relax on a train. You're able to see the landscape because I'm a nature guy. So passing through, the plains when I was on the Empire Builder and seeing the mountains and seeing the snow, it was like nature porn. I don't know if it was definitely nature porn. I was like, oh, this feels so good. Yeah. And just to sit there and drink your tea and have a homie there to talk to you about. Man, I'm in love, Steve. I love train travel. Thank you, Mike, for putting me on.
That's so cool. I'm happy to hear that. I agree though.
Taking a shower on the train. Taking a shower on the train, bro.
Yeah.
Hot water. You're not in there rocking around and everything like that. And it's a nice area. I mean, it's a nice amount of space. So if you've never been on a train, sure, or people who are out there, I think you should get on. You see how excited I am about it right now. I kind of like want to go jump on a train.
That's fun. I wonder do you know what the longest train ride in America is? I wonder if we could figure that out.
The longest train ride, I think it is.
Or maybe not continuous train ride, but what if we did like Miami to Seattle? Like that's the exact opposite side, or like Southern California.
We would go through Miami. We would go from Miami to New York, and then we go New York to Chicago, and then Chicago.
We probably would, something like that. Yeah, I don't know. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I'm down. I know Mike is down. I'm down. And I think people would love it. It's just like being able to take another mode of transportation. Because one thing about, I got some comments on my videos where people are like, why not just take a plane? You get there quicker. And I just think that's a problem with not just Americans, but people in general. We're so in a rush to get to the same place. Like, I knew I was still getting to Seattle. It's going to take 46 to 48 hours, but I enjoyed the journey going there.
The journey, not the destination.
The journey, not the destination. Like,
those Instagram quotes are not wrong.
They're not wrong, man. So it was just pleasurable just to sit there and chill and knowing that I was going to get there. And then also when you're on a train and if you really don't have anything to do, sometimes you'd be like, oh, I hope we get a delay because I can stay on the train a little bit longer.
I agree though with the aspect of being able to enjoy the scenery, because when we took trains across Spain, I didn't know what Spain looked like only being in the cities. When we went from Barcelona, we took a train from Barcelona to Madrid. So that distance, it's freaking beautiful, man. I didn't know what to expect. I never really looked into anything, what it looked like, but the countryside of Spain was just unreal. I was trying to get work done. My plan going into it was like, oh, we got some space. We had a whole table. We got a wall outlet we could plug and use power. So I was like, let me get some work done. But I kept finding myself just looking like this. I couldn't even stay focused. I was like, but look at that.
Yeah, it'll catch you, man. You'd be like,
I agree, man. It's incredible.
It is. Let's go to the Dakotas, Wyoming, Montana, the dinosaur country. I know Tal loves dinosaurs. I do too. Science rocks. But yeah, I've never been to Wyoming. We went across Montana. I think we went across Montana on the train. But I would love to go to Wyoming and like do some hiking, all that stuff. I'll be down. I'll be down to go with any of you guys. Like if y'all say, look, Will, let's roll, I am down. Because I know y'all good people. So
yeah, we just got to figure out where to go or when we can go.
When can we go?
And Tal's probably not going to come back to the States anytime soon. I think
we miss you, brother.
He's an Asia-bound boy for now.
Philippines. Let's stop.
Yeah, I mean, actually, Tal just made a pretty interesting video about the Jewish connection with the Filipino history. If anyone is interested in learning about that, pretty interesting video. I really enjoyed that one. So shout out to you, the traveling class. Who do we got in here? Let's look. Downey live. He's live, bruh.
Right.
The SW Chief. He answered it. The SW Chief is the longest single route.
Okay.
Boom.
Yes.
Got it.
And Mike is about to, congrats. Mike, my brother Mike is about to hit 100,000 subscribers. Hopefully this week or next week. He's about to blow.
Well, now everyone watching this is gonna go subscribe to him. So there you go.
Yep.
But it's interesting because when you were talking about the train journeys, you said his videos blew up, and I looked into it, dude. Million.
Million.
What?
You remember that with Lil Wayne song? I'm a milli.
By the way, I know all the words to that song, so if you want to challenge me, that's incredible, dude.
Did really well. So bravo.
That's incredible. It's crazy how the YouTube algorithm just picks stuff out. I'm sure he didn't expect that. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And recently, like I've been getting a lot of views on my I shot a little tiny house video in Puerto Rico, and like maybe a couple of weeks ago, it was probably like a 3,000. I was like over 10. And the reason why people are more interested in sustainability movement right now, since the government shut down, people are looking into more gardening videos. I see my vegan videos pick up. So people are looking like, okay, if the world was coming to an end, what should I do? So I think a lot of people are thinking like that as well.
Yeah, it's just trying to see how we can sustain life ourselves, be sustainable. And yeah, I actually have a friend, Ivan, who I met in Sri Lanka. He was involved with this tuk-tuk tournament that Tal and I participated in. He was in charge of running it and organizing it, but he actually is from Idaho, and he has a tiny house there, and he just went back, and he's been posting some stories about how he's
you got to send me his channel. I would love to watch it.
He actually he doesn't have he does have a YouTube channel, but I don't think he's posted anything in years. Okay. He's not active on YouTube, but he's just a good friend of mine, and he's from Idaho, built a really cool tiny house up there, rents it out on Airbnb, and he's been posting stories about how he's like doing a bunch of outdoor like he's just fixing everything up and adding a bunch of things. He's building up like tables from scratch, and just looks really cool.
That's dope. That's the life I'm into, man. That sustainability lifestyle. You know, something small, you know, something you can get away. You know, I still like the city, even though I grew up in the country. I like both. You know, I like the city life. I like the country life, but I'm starting to get more to getting back to the country life. You know, I just want to have that peace and want to have garden in the back, you know, stuff like that. So
garden life. So we got a question from King It, still in here, guys. Thanks for Craig and Amy. Thanks for staying the true homies and hanging out in the chat. But I actually had this question for you too. They were asking, Will, what made you go vegan, and how long have you been in the V gang? How long have you been repping the V card? Well, it's funny because
this year be going on 3 years. I haven't eaten beef and pork. It's my journey. It's transitional. I went through transitions, so I haven't eaten beef and pork in about 14 years. When I was living in Texas, one of my first job was I worked at a chicken farm. I was even thinking about making a vegan video about this, why I went vegan, and telling them about my chicken farm story. Because when people hear that story, they're like, I don't think I want to eat chicken ever again. But it was the most disgusting job I ever had. And I had stopped eating chicken for a couple years. And then I started back when I was probably around 24, 25. And in my 30s, around like 32, I started to think about like going more vegetarian. Then I went completely vegan. And it really started off when I started watching more documentaries, and then also knowing like the health conditions in my family. A lot of my people in my family, they suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, and things like that. And a lot of the times it comes from how they not just eat meat, but how meat is being processed. So if people don't know, like I worked at a chicken farm, and basically whenever we got chickens in, they would be like this big, coming in for the first week. Within 2 months, there'd be full grown chickens. And one thing, the reason why the chickens grew so fast is because we actually put steroids in their food. And the chickens basically grew so fast that they would actually get so big that they basically wouldn't be able to support their own selves on their legs. So just knowing that information and knowing that I was a person who actually worked on a chicken farm. And when people say, oh, well, you can buy sustainable meat and things like, I'm like, I worked inside of a chicken farm. I know exactly what we did to the chickens. I know that chickens would have a blowout, and people may not, what's a blowout? A blowout when a chicken lays a double yolk or a triple yolk egg. That is an egg that has 3 yolks in it. And then their cavity where they lay the egg is, the egg will be so large that they can't pass it. And they would actually have a blowout with some parts of their intestines. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but y'all wonder it. Some of their intestines would come out, and they would walk around that like that for weeks until eventually they would die in the chicken yard. So just knowing all that information in my head, I was like, you know what, Will, I can survive off vegetables, because I saw a lot of my friends who were, doing a vegan lifestyle, and their skin looked amazing. They were always in shape. Like, one thing about being a vegan, like, I don't have to worry about gaining a lot of weight. Like, my weight always stays the same because I'm always going to eat basically a lot of the same foods and things like that. So now, being a vegan compared to what's like 3 or 4 years ago, there's so many more options. Like, if you want a burger, there's Beyond Burgers. If you want to make you like a fried mushroom sandwich, like I make out of oyster mushroom, I deep fry like batter of oyster mushrooms, and I make like a sandwich. Like, so if you miss chicken or something like that, you can have options, And one thing about going vegan, telling people about vegan, it's like we really think about the flavors. Like, if you just ate raw meat, you wouldn't eat raw meat, So it's all about the flavors and how you can season it. And me being a cook, and I've been cooking for a long time, I just know how to season food well. So the vegan transition was a little bit easier for me than a lot of people. So I just tell people that whenever you're going vegan, just think about, can you cook? Do you like to cook? Because you're going to be cooking a lot of your own food, because there's not going to be a lot of vegan options out there. Some of the vegan restaurants around here are closed right now. So it can be pretty hard if you can't cook. So I'm so thankful that I know how to cook. So hopefully that answers some questions. And I gave you a little animated story to go along with it as well.
Ooh, tell them about the vegan farm we went to.
Yeah, Mike surprised me when we was in Austin. Mike and I met up in Austin a couple of months ago, around in January, and Mike said, "Will, I have the surprise for you." And I thought Mike was taking me to a restaurant. I was so hungry at that time. Like, man, Mike about to take me to this restaurant. So we pulled up, and there was a big ass cow laying on the grass. I'm like, Mike, where we at? He's like, "Will, this is a vegan farm." I was like, "Shut up," and closed the door. I was so excited because it was like animals that were there, they were rescued. They were just chilling, living the best life. There were some huge hogs. There were pigs that were there. They were huge, like 800, 900 pounds. And they were just so relaxed, because I know these animals knew they like, hey, this is where I'm going to live the rest of my life at. And the people who were on the vegan farm, they were very friendly, open. They're receptive to the ideas of things like the shots that we wanted to shoot and the story that we wanted to tell. And I do have that video on my page, and Mike did shoot one on his channel as well. So it was just cool to have a vegan farm. I didn't even know there was vegan farms, and I realized there's a couple of more vegan farms in the United States. So it's basically people who are
ask, what is a vegan farm?
So it's basically people who actually they're in agriculture. They used to be meat eaters, and they're like, hey, we don't want to be farmers anymore. We don't want to produce, we don't want to kill animals. So they basically, started a vegan sanctuary. So animals that were about to go to slaughter, they would rescue them, or a farmer may call them up and say, hey, there's this cow, this bull that, may have broke his leg or something like that. We don't want to put him down. Can we bring him to your farm? Can we put him on your sanctuary? So that's what the vegan farm is. No animals there are harmed. They're all love. They work off of a lot of grants and a lot of community support to people who actually support the farm. And if you're ever in Austin, just search for our vegan farm videos. You'll find them on YouTube. Go out there and support and help. I mean, the animals there are so great. I've never seen a pig lay down like a dog, bro. Like a pig. Yeah. Like this. It's so neat. But once again, thanks, Mike, for taking me out there, because it's really special that we are. My thing is, like, I'm not the type of person that like try to beat veganism into people's head. I don't care what people eat, but also I think that it's good that more people are realizing that animals are they're alive. They have feelings as well. I mean, I used to raise animals, and like my dad raised animals. We never ate any of the meat because I couldn't bring myself to eat the meat that we raised. And we still go to the store to get the meat and stuff like that. My dad would eat it, but I wouldn't, because I'm like, man, we raised this pig. I'm not going to eat it. But just knowing that animals do have feelings, and just understanding like what is going on in our food in America. There's so many antibiotics and pesticides, and I mean, just think about the production of milk, like dairy farmers. There's so much pus and germs that are going into that milk. And there's a lot of things you just got to open your eyes to. Veganism may not be for everybody, you know. And also, I think veganism is a first world thing, because there's people in third world countries who may not have the opportunity to, you know, have fresh fish. There's some people that live by the ocean and the only thing they know is fish. And hey, what can they do about that? You know? So that's why I'm never not the type of person that, hey, you should be vegan. And I have friends who still eat meat, and that's okay. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. Whatever you want to do. But for me, I just wanted to be, you know, make a better choice for my life. And I feel like eating vegetables, and I still got a lot of energy. I still can run fast. I can skate and all that good stuff.
It's funny you mentioned kind of a first world thing that, you know, some people don't have the option to do that, like people who live by the sea. If anyone watching this has seen my video from New York City, the 2 days, 2 ways, I made a pretty interesting video back in January where I challenged myself to, well, I was challenged. I won't get into why I did it. There's another reason why I did it, but the whole premise of the challenge was to survive 2 days in New York City in 2 different ways. So the first day I have a budget of only $25 to survive in New York City, which is pretty expensive. But the second day I had $500 as a budget. So it's a budget challenge. And the first day, since I only had $25, my goal was to find a place to stay because there's nowhere in New York City that you can live for less than $25. So yeah, I set my challenge to find a stranger to let me sleep over. So I was walking up to strangers on the street, telling them what I was doing and getting rejected all day long. But there was one guy, only one guy I asked all day long who didn't say no. And I ended up finding a host through couch surfing. So I went to their place. And when I got to my couch surfing host's home, I got a message from this guy, Luke, who's the only guy to not say no. The reason he couldn't say yes right away is because he was visiting New York City and he was going to check into a hotel. He didn't know what the conditions would be like, if he could have a guest or whatnot. But yeah, he was the only person to offer me a place to stay. He texted me and said, hey man, if you need a place tonight, I got you. So the next day I ended up hanging out with him. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is because he founded a company called We Are Agri-Sea, like SEA, because the whole mission of their business is to figure out how to grow crops in the ocean to fight world hunger. So places where people might have to rely on, like places where people can't grow vegetables. Like if you live by the sea, now they're figuring out a way to grow crops in salt water. And that's like the whole premise of his business.
What is it again? Is it based out of New York?
No, based in, well, he's from the UK, but their business is, they had a startup in San Francisco. I think they're in Toronto now.
Nice.
So they're based in Toronto.
I would love to learn more about that because that's dope. That could be a major game changer.
It's seriously. And the fact that I met this guy on the street asking him to sleep over, and he was, of course, the only person to say yes. Like, he's such a kind-hearted individual. And the fact that his business focus is to help others is just...
And y'all still in contact to this day? Y'all still...
Yeah.
Nice.
This is only a few months ago that I met him. So I'm sure he's super busy getting this up and running. They're still in testing phases of everything. But yeah, their goal is to open up and start like farms off coastal regions where they are suffering from hunger situations. So it's like, are you kidding me? How freaking nice is that?
Yeah, that'd be a dope video. I'll be interested in doing a video like that. So whenever he gets the first production up, we should to show people. That's dope, man. Yeah, because I feel like, you know, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, there's going to be more. The vegan thing, like we haven't hit the top of the iceberg. There's going to be a lot of people who are transitioning going to vegan. There's just so many options now. There's so many recipes, ideas that people are doing with vegetables. They'd be like, this is a what? You know, there's so many, like, I didn't know about jackfruit until like a year and a half, 2 years ago, you know, like making like jackfruit tacos. And then it tastes just like, if you were eating like any type of just like a pork sandwich or beef sandwich, you get that same texture and that barbecue sauce and stuff like that. So you're getting all the taste and the flavor, but you just, no animals being harmed.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that jackfruit is pretty interesting. When I first had like a jackfruit, it's really good with like the consistency of like pulled pork or something like similar to that. So, and it absorbs flavors really well.
Really
So
well.
if you cook it in sauce or whatever, I've had excellent like pulled jackfruit, like pulled pork jackfruit burgers, or different types of like, I had pizza with jackfruit on it. It was really good.
Yeah, man. When you come to Atlanta, Steve, I got to show you around to all the vegan spots that I like to go to. And you take you to some farms, and I show you where. Mike was supposed to be here before the quarantine, but they canceled all our travel plans. So I was able to get to show him my city and stuff like that. But yeah, I love showing people around Atlanta. There's a lot of good vegan options and stuff here.
So one last thing, we're coming up on an hour here. I don't want to hold you too long, but one thing I've noticed you've been getting into recently, TikTok.
TikTok, bro. Yes, I have.
You've been ticking the talk, haven't you?
I've been ticking the talk, and I think I figured out the algorithm. I think I figured it out.
Oh,
like I had 2 days ago, I had 123 subscribers. This morning I woke up, I had like 507. And I know the reason why, because on TikTok, there's a lot of people who love cooking videos. And since I'm a person who loves to cook, I'm like, here we go. Like I'm gonna do a lot of comedy stuff because I'm funny in nature. But also I'm gonna do a lot of cooking TikTok videos. So
find that niche.
Comedy videos and a few TikTok videos as well. But yeah, I've been experimenting with TikTok. I know I have a homie who blew up on TikTok. He has like 1 million subscribers on TikTok, and they just started maybe 2 months ago.
Yeah.
You know,
so for anyone watching this right now who's not familiar with TikTok, because it is focused on the younger generation, and most of my viewers are not in that generation. My viewership tends to be a little bit older than teenagers. That's usually who's focused on TikTok right now, or even younger. But essentially, TikTok is a social media app that is a video sharing app. You could share videos up to a minute, usually around 15 seconds is the average length of them. And now they're a wide variety. The app actually started called Musical.ly. Do you remember that? Are you familiar with that?
I remember Musical.ly. I did not know that, but I remember Musical.ly. I didn't know it started. Did not know that.
Musical.ly was an app that people would make music videos, and it was a lot of like weird hand dancing and stuff. I don't know. And then they rebranded. I think they were bought out, and they rebranded it to TikTok. So it was not just music. That's why if you look on TikTok, it's a lot of music and dancing, because that's where it came from. That's really how it originated. But now it's a lot of just anything. And it's really interesting because the algorithm, the way the app decides to show you videos is unique and different than any other social media platform that we're used to. Like, for example, with YouTube or Instagram, it can be a little harder to start a channel, right? If you start an Instagram page, it's nearly impossible for the everyday user to just get 100,000 views on something. Like, that doesn't ever happen on Instagram. It really won't. It takes time to build up an Instagram page, especially now with how the algorithm is in place. But on but on TikTok, someone can make one video, their first video ever, and it can go viral. And it's weird. It's like a weird thing because it doesn't really have to be good.
No, it doesn't, bro. It doesn't.
It's just.
It's wild because my top video, let's see, it's almost at 10,000. I just made it 3 days ago.
So let me show you. I have a video. So when I was in Sri Lanka, I was posting a bunch of random videos on TikTok, and I posted this one video of my food. I was sitting on like some rocks on the ocean, and I just had this like random street food item. It was like a fried bun, and I was like, oh, look at this bun. And it was like such a random video. I wasn't even in it. I was like, let's just rip open this bun. I ripped open the bun, and the video ended. Like, there wasn't no punchline, there was no exciting thing to it. It was just, here, I'll show you. Guess how many views this video got?
Probably like 300,000.
493,000 views right now. Why?
Wow,
why? Like, I put effort into some of my other videos, but this one is just like,
all right, we have some Sri Lankan street food. Look at this view.
It's just
such a beautiful spot. So this right here is a deep fried bun. This is bread. Let me rip it open for you. Let's rip this thing
That's it. It cuts weird.
We had some eggs and
Uh
some
huh.
pepperoni.
And then it accidentally ends because I didn't film it right. And that's it. Like there's no context to it. And that's the reason why TikTok is unique, because a video like that can just go viral.
Yeah.
And this mindset that we have now. We're addicted to this. It's very addicting. It feeds into it. So now kids are using this and they have videos that go super viral. They're getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Hundreds.
And these kids are having these feelings that have never been implemented into our everyday society before, where you're having this release of endorphins, like people are watching me, oh my god. But it's just a
wild.
weird.
Because think about, like, you can put so much time in a YouTube video, like a cooking video that takes me an hour and a half to shoot, an hour and a half to edit. And I made this TikTok video, and I was like, I have got more followers off this one little video.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is wild. And then a lot of brands now are paying people a lot of money on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, my friend in California, there's brands paying her $1,000 or $2,000, and she only has 25,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's, because like a video can serve so many people,
Yeah.
So
it's wild. Man, it's just a weird
see,
thing.
we got a question here from Devin. He's one of your followers from Sri Lanka.
Oh, sorry. Was it?
Where to find vegans or vegan restaurants in Sri Lanka, but there are vegetarian restaurants. What's the difference? All right, so the difference between vegan and vegetarian. Vegan and vegetarian. So vegan means that there's no animal byproducts. So no eggs, no milk, no honey, or anything like that. Vegetarian restaurant means like you can use milk, eggs, honey, or byproducts, just no meat. So hopefully that answers your question, Devin.
Devin seemed very adamant about getting this question answered.
Devin said, listen, you better answer this question. I see you.
I appreciate that, Devin. That just goes to show the Sri Lankan persistence, I would say.
Don't post it 5 times.
King It has exited the chat. Thanks for joining. They're probably gone by now. But yeah, if you guys are interested in some fun couple travel vlogs, Kinging It,
I'm gonna check them out.
Fun. They're fun.
Find them on YouTube right after we get off of here.
Yeah, man.
Yes, bro.
All right, dude. We already passed the hour mark here. So I'm trying to think anything else I wanted to talk to you about. I think I pretty much hit all the topics that I wanted to ask you. Anything else that you want to add or end off on?
Bro, I can't wait to see you and finally meet.
We'll make that happen.
Hang together, vlog, catch up, and I know it'll be soon. It seems like I think that a lot of states are going to be opening up mid-June, late June. Question
I had for you. I'm pretty sure there's some controversy in Georgia.
Yes,
opening up.
Yeah, I had started. You know what? It's crazy, man. I started working on that video last night, but I'm not gonna put it out because I don't want controversy on my channel.
Yeah,
and I just don't want that. Because I like to reply to positive comments, and I recorded it yesterday, filmed it. I'm like, I'm not gonna put it out because I don't want to. And it's just, as a creator, sometimes it's like that. But there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Georgia right now. Today is we're the first state to open back up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: no matter if you're Republican or Democrat, a lot of people are not going anywhere. The streets are still, people are still at home. All the businesses like restaurants, bowling alleys and everything, not bowling, restaurants, movie theaters opens up on Monday. But the governor has gotten a lot of pushback because I believe there still has not been a lot of testing done to at least know, how many people in our state, do have coronavirus and then also I just think that if you get tested one week, you can test positive next week. So I think there's going to be a lot of things that should be changed. That they're going to change in the next couple of weeks and going out. Things are not going to get back to normal. But I just think that we should have waited until mid-June, late June to open back up. I think we should have waited to being able to have testing at CVS or Walgreens, that you can walk in and get a test at whatever little location you want to. And not just any test, a test that's gonna take 2 or 3 days to come back, like a rapid test that you would actually know within like 5 to 10 minutes if you have coronavirus. Another thing is that people may not know this, is it's gonna happen, but airline industries eventually, I think they're gonna start doing temperature checks before people get on airplanes. I know in my mom's job, my mom is a nurse in Texas, and they actually did temperature checks at her job. So you cannot come into work if you have any type of temperature. So I think that's going to be something that's going to change within the next couple of weeks, because I think this is important to know, where we are with the number of people who actually have coronavirus. I know we're social distancing, and I think a lot of people are saying stay at home, stay at home, stay at home. But I want people to say stay at home, but then also push your politician or your local government by asking for more tests, asking for antibody tests. We need to know if people had this in July or June of last year. That'll, put more light on this whole entire situation as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of controversy here in Georgia. There's a lot of businesses that are open and employees did not show up this morning. That's been on the major news. So it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, I was seeing that. Some people are happy because the small businesses, like the owners, they want to open, but then other small business owners were like, I'm not opening. We're not ready. Like, this isn't okay. We're still affected by this. So it's interesting to see how this will play out and see where it goes. But there's a lot of unknown scenarios out here. So hopefully we learn more soon and
hopefully so.
Yeah. But let's see if anyone is in the chat. All right. Well, no more questions here in the chat. So thanks everyone for joining. We got Todd L with that super chat. Really appreciate that. And everyone else, John Edward Jones, thanks to both of you. Thank you, Jedge. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thanks for joining, everybody. All right. Well,
thank you.
Hey, I'm going to be following up with you about that bus idea. So that seems pretty interesting.
Let's do it. Let's roll out road trip.
I'm down, dude. I'm down. All right, man. I'm going to end the live stream now. Everybody, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you. Yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Not sure exactly when it'll be, but you'll hear from me soon with a new creator, a new live stream. All right. Take it easy, everybody. Boom, boom.